petition to Senate by Kelvin Luther Munai. Senator Mary, Senator.
We, the undersigned citizens of the Republic of Kenya and residents of Jamii Bora Estate, Kisaju, in Kajiado County, draw to the attention of the Senate to the following. 1, we, leaders in Jamii Bora Estate, representing owners of properties as follows: over 900 homes, over 500 commercial units, several churches and a mosque, a public primary school, public secondary school, public borehole, and a public playground. That we bought houses in Jamii Bora Estate located in Kisaju, Kajiado County. That the developer has failed to give us titles to our houses since they started selling the houses from the year 2008 to date. That after they had sold the houses to us, we learned that the developer took a bank loan that they are not servicing, and that they charge the title Kajiado /58 Kajiado 2995 to secure the loan with the bank without our knowledge. That after the project failed, they are continuing with selling the remaining plots within the estate to unsuspecting buyers, even as we ask for our titles, which are not forthcoming. That we paid for our properties through our sweat and for our children's inheritance. That the company has been mutating from Jamii Bora Trust to Jamii Bora Macau, then to Urbanize Africa, then back to Kisaju Fuel Park Limited. 8, that some homeowners have died while possessing nothing to prove ownership of their houses to be given to their next of kin. That we do not know where our titles are, since the company has maintained studious silence on the issue to date. 10, that the company seems happy to maintain this status quo. 11, that there are many such developers like Banda Homes, Suraya Property Groups, among others, who have defrauded Kenyans and rendered them homeless and bankrupt. That we have made the best efforts to have this matter addressed by the Relevant Authority, all of which have failed to give us satisfactory response. That none of these issues raised in this petition is pending in any court of law, constitutional, or any other legal body. Where therefore, your humble petitioners pray that the Senate, 1, investigate Jamii Bora Trust, now Kisaju Fuel Park Limited, and any other such developers to ensure Kenyans are not defrauded. Arbitrate between us and Kisaju Fuel Park Limited to ensure that individuals are issued with the requisite titles. review the existing legal framework to regulate the real estate sector and to protect Kenyans from such investors, developers, and enhance more strict penalties for developers, investors who ensure the delivery on their project to ensure that the requisite standards for buildings are adhered to. The letter. The date of this petition is 17th day of November 2020, signed by 7 people and myself, presented by myself. Thank you.
Okay, honorable senators, we have a very tight program. You know, we also have a motion of adjournment, so we'll try to limit the contributions, especially on petitions and statements. But pursuant to Standing Order number 231, I shall now allow comments, observations, or clarifications in relation to the petition for not more than 30 minutes. I don't see any interest. For pursuant to Standing Order number 2, you wanted to contribute to the petition?
I want to support you.
Okay, I've not seen it. Okay, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I like to support the statement by Senator.
The petition,
It's a petition by Senator, because what she's pointing about are actually, there are many incidents and there are many examples of Kenyans being defrauded and swindled. And I would like the Senate committee, which will be handling this, to come up with a very thorough and serious recommendations. Because, Mr. Speaker, the ghost in the room in this country, it is corruption. These kind of things that Senator has brought, they are all over. We have seen people losing, ordinary people, innocently defrauded, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I call upon this House to come up with very serious recommendations regarding the action that should be taken, Mr. Speaker. Because I want to say, Mr. Speaker, this particular incident she is referring in Masai land, I know Masais are very endowed, well endowed with land. And there are a lot of people who come and pose and they end up defrauding them. Mr. Speaker, but it is not an isolated case. It's all over in this country. And I would like that we as a Senate come in the forefront. Because as I said, the ghost in the room in this country, it is the corruption. And I don't want to call it corruption. Let's call it blatant stealing, blatant defrauding of country in all manner of ways. And unless we do something, this may be a minor incident. Unless we do something, Mr. Speaker, whatever we may be thinking, whatever good laws we may be putting, whatever good proposals we may be putting, you know, Mr. Speaker, it will always be a futile attempt, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I support Senator and her petition should be taken with the seriousness due. Thank you.
Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I actually sympathize with Mary Senator and the 6 of them, but I want to say that the situation is even better for them. There's a group of people who approached me last week. They bought property similar to what Mary Senator and 6 of our colleagues did in Machakos County. Got a loan from HF Bank. Now, because of a problem with the paying of the loan, the bank has gone and sold the property together with the houses where those people have purchased. One person has actually committed suicide. It's a very sad situation because you find people knocking on your door. They say this property doesn't belong to you, which is true. And Mr. Speaker, I was going to wonder whether the Section of Properties Act, because the solution is the Section of Properties Act to forbid developers from selling property before they can give titles to the buyers, because it's fraud for somebody to obtain money from you in the purporting to sell your house and then go and obtain another loan or sell that property to another person. It's criminal action. Although Mary Senator has come to the Senate, I'm just wondering out loudly whether these people have been arrested. But since I know how this country operates, these developers have long hands. These developers know the police. These developers will not be arrested. These developers are like a cartel. So I would advise, as you wait for the committee, whichever committee that is assigned to this matter, get an injunction. But even then, look for a good lawyer. Because I know those people in Machakos were unable to get an injunction, yet their property was being sold for a mistake of the developer. You will wait and your properties will be sold. Or the title will be nullified or something. It's a very, very sad situation. But as legislators, we should provide an avenue. And I've said, Mr. Speaker, the Section of Properties Act is the way to go. This is happening not only for people who are developing land, but people who are going to buy properties in Kileleshwa, Kilimani, etc., etc. Some of them have waited for more than 15 years. They don't have titles for their flats, which is something that is a problem and is continuing. Thank you, Speaker.
Senator Langat.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for also giving me this opportunity to support this petition from Mary Senator. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that issues to do with title deeds in our country has become a great challenge to development. And I want to say, apart from this particular Jamii Bora, which actually some people have denied them their rightful title deeds, there are other places also with more challenges. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that in the area surrounding Mau Forest, for instance, there are some people who have got title deeds which were declared by some provisional administrators as just mere papers. And these are people who bought land from other people. They were issued with title deeds, and now the title deeds have been declared fake. Another challenge that is facing also some parts of this country, like some regions in Nakuru and Bomet, surrounding also Mau Forest, there was a caveat that was put here some 10 years ago, and none has ever taken an interest in government to redefine this caveat because it has rendered most of the title deeds in that particular area invalid and no one can use them, yet people are still doing developments. So whenever you see issues to do with title deeds, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that the committee that will actually deal with this should expand their boundaries and also make sure that such issues that we are bringing forth are also addressed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support this petition.
Okay, honorable senators. Pursuant to Standing Order number 2321, the petition is committed to the Standing Committee. Order, Senators. Senator Mohamud, order. The Senate Committee on Roads and Transportation, which is the relevant standing committee for its consideration. In terms of Standing Order 2322, the committee is required in not more than 60 calendar days from the time of reading the prayer to respond to the petitioners by way of a report addressed to the petitioner and laid on the table of the Senate. I thank you. The next is from Senator Shionga. Huh?